Kings and queens may have ruled empires, commanded armies, and built great palaces. But in the end, every crown must fall. Tonight, we're diving into how England's monarchs really died. Their ages, their ailments, their battles, and their blunders. Some went out in glory, some in tragedy, and some in frankly embarrassing ways. Let's begin our royal autopsy. William the Conqueror, the man who changed English history in 1066, met a surprisingly unepic end. At age 59, he fell from his horse. During battle, his injuries worsened and infection set in. The mighty conqueror was undone not by enemy swords, but by his saddle. Henry II was a formidable ruler and father of Richard the Lionheart. Yet, in 1189, after exhausting wars including a rebellion led by his own Sonsie, collapsed from fever. At just 56, England's great lawgiver was carried off by illness, not battle. Richard the Lionheart had legend in his name and courage on the battlefield, but his fate was anything but noble. In 1199, during a minor siege in France, he was struck by a crossbow bolt. In those days, infection was more deadly than arrows. At just 41, England's Crusader king died from a wound he might have survived today. Edward II ruled during turmoil, plagued by baronial revolts and an infamous defeat by the Scots in 1327. At age 43, he was deposed and murdered in captivity under mysterious, brutal circumstances. His reign ended, not on the throne, but in the shadows of Berkeley Castle. Richard III's reign was short and violent. In 1485, he died at only 32, in the Battle of Bosworth, becoming the last English king to die in combat. Shakespeare painted him as a villain, crying for a horse. In truth, he fought bravely to the very last. Henry VIII is remembered for 6 wives and breaking with Rome, but his death was less about Brahma and more about disease. At 55, years of overeating, obesity, and infected leg ulcers overwhelmed him. The once powerful monarch who changed the church was undone by his own body. Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, who defeated the Spanish Armada and presided over the Golden Age of England, faced a slow decline. In 1603, at 69 years old, she grew frail and depressed, eventually succumbing to old age and blood poisoning. The Tudor dynasty ended with her final breath. Charles I clashed with Parliament until civil war engulfed England. His defiance led to the unthinkable. In 1649, at the age of 48, a monarch was executed in broad daylight, beheaded before his people. His death shocked Europe and ended the belief that kings ruled by divine right alone. Queen Victoria sat on the throne for 63 years, an era of empire and industry. But in 1901, at age 81, time claimed her too. She died of a cerebral hemorrhage at Osborne House, remembered as the matriarch of modern monarchy, mourned around the globe. Finally, Elizabeth II, Britain's longest reigning monarch. For over 70 years, she was a constant symbol of duty and stability. In 2022, she passed away peacefully at Balmoral Castle, aged 96. The official cause was old age, a quiet end to a monumental reign.